What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fourth and Goal Sports Show. I'm your host, Tyrus Filson. The news came out the other day. Klay Thompson has officially signed with the Dallas Mavericks. Guys, this is a big, big deal. This is a big, big signing for the Mavericks. Props to the Mavericks on bringing Klay in. I was so sure that Klay was going to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers and team up with LeBron and AD. I saw that in my mind, largely in part due to the fact that Klay Thompson's dad was a Los Angeles Laker himself. You know, Michael Thompson was a Laker back in the day, and back in those Laker glory days, he was a part of those teams. And I was strongly feeling as though Klay was going to, fulfill that moment with his dad and just say, I'm going to go to LA, I'm going to go to my roots, I'm going to go and become a Laker like my dad was. I thought he was going to do that. I was wrong. He signs with the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I did have the Dallas Mavericks as one of the top three teams, the top three landing spots for Klay since he was a free agent. But like I said, man, I really thought the Lakers were going to get him. This is a big, big miss for Los Angeles, but this is nothing new. They miss big free agents all the time. They miss big trades all the time, so this is nothing new for Los Angeles. But for Klay, let's focus on Klay. This is a big signing for him, and wow, just wow. I mean, the Golden State Warriors dynasty is officially over. The Golden State Warriors dynasty is officially over. And Klay Thompson going to Dallas, this is a big momentum shifter. This is a big, big loss for the Warriors because, Klay, on the back half of his career that's begun so far, he hasn't done well. He's been struggling maybe the past few years, hasn't been the same player he used to be, but that's pretty much the case for any player that gets older, especially when they've suffered a severe injury that, similar to what Klay had. So, honestly, Klay isn't the same. But Klay Thompson, without a doubt, is still one of the best shooters in the NBA. He's still one of the best serviceable shooting guards in the NBA. Don't get that twisted. I mean, the guy's a four-time champion. He's one of the greatest shooters of all time. He's one of the greatest shooting guards of all time. And a lot of people seem to have forgot that. You got this whole 0 for 10 joke. And it's cool once in a while, but once you repeatedly kind of, make fun of Klay for that game. He went 0 for 10. It was a bad moment. It was terrible for him. It's a terrible way to go out. But people like to use moments instead of analyzing the whole grand moment. They try to dice up little moments and make them grand, when in fact, you can't chop it up. You can't dice it up. You have to eat it whole and take it in and really realize that Klay Thompson, his entire career, it's legendary. It's legendary.
Crowd standing. Klay driving again. Good! Oh, you're kidding me!
This moment for him leaving Golden State, it's going to be felt. Don't get it twisted. It's going to be felt. They're going to be missing Klay. Curry knows that. Draymond, he knows that. Those guys, three of them, they've been boys forever. Those three, they were a dynasty, and they did so much together. And for them to split up like this, it's not the way I wanted it to end for them. It's not the way majority of the fans wanted it to end for them. And I'm sure it's not how they wanted it to end for them. Let's not get it twisted. This big three was one of the greatest big threes in NBA history, if not the greatest big three in NBA history. Just the things they accomplished together, the 73-9 team, that team was spectacular, man. It was spectacular. Just to see those guys do what they did, it was spectacular. And this era of basketball that I was privileged to watch was truly a privilege. It was truly a privilege. Like, I'm really outspoken when it comes to the eras of basketball. I feel like the 2010s were one of the greatest, if not the greatest era of basketball. And I'm defending that take against whoever. It doesn't matter who it is. The 2010s era, the Warriors were off the charts. They were doing their thing. And Klay Thompson was a large part of that. So all the guys who are disrespecting Klay, you got to put some respect on his name. You got to put some respect on what he's accomplished in this league, his legacy, his leadership, his skill. He's one of the greatest of all time. He will be a future Hall of Famer. And truly, seeing him go with the Mavs, I feel like that's a good fit for him. I feel like that's good for him. And the Mavs are going to be fighting to get back to the finals again next season. So it's going to be putting him in the spot where he has the opportunity to go win another championship. But it's just tough to see him leave Golden State. And Golden State's front office, they should be ashamed of themselves. I know that Steve Kerr made it a point to say we want him back desperately. And I don't know what Steve Kerr had to deal with pleading with the front office to get Klay back. But clearly they didn't try hard enough. And clearly they didn't fight hard enough to get Klay back. If they wanted him back, he would have been back. Simple as that. Simple as that. If the Golden State Warriors wanted Klay back, he would have been back. But they let him walk. And they were okay. They were basically okay with saying that's the end of the era. We're done. Curry already struggled enough as it is this season without any help. He was basically carrying. He was basically getting a taste of what LeBron's had to deal with back in those Cleveland days. And, he's finally getting a taste of that. And it wasn't fun. And Klay, yeah, he has declined steadily. He's declined a little bit. But he's definitely worth a roster spot. He's definitely worth retaining as a starter. As a player, just on your roster in general, he's worth retaining. So for them to just let him walk, for them to, I know it's technically a sign and trade. The Mavs are sending 2 second-round picks. Let's be honest, that's basically the Warriors releasing him because 2 second-round picks, those 2 second-round picks are worth nothing. In the NBA, draft picks, they're worth diddly squat. They're worth little to nothing at all. This is not the NFL draft. When you trade picks and you trade assets, supposed assets, they really don't mean much in the NBA because 2 second-round picks, those 2 second-round picks, if the Warriors choose to keep them, those 2 second-round picks are not going to amount to the talent level and the production that Klay Thompson brought. Let's be real. Let's just be real. Those 2 second-round picks, they'll be lucky to average 6 points combined. Look at the second round of the NBA draft through the years. You might get 1 hidden gem, maybe 2, and that's about it. And the Warriors have already had draft problems in years past, failure to recognize talent. They passed up on Anthony Edwards, and they went and drafted James Wiseman, traded him a few years later. The Warriors need to reevaluate their front office because they lost some guys a few years ago that were a key part of their front office, and now it's looking like they're in the wrong direction. You let Klay walk. This is the end of an era. It's the end of an era. You split up the 3 of those guys, and it's not looking good. It's not looking good. They whiffed on bringing Klay back, and I can't even say they whiffed really because they barely even tried. They whiffed on getting Paul George because of that whole situation. Signs with Philly. And now it's looking like Curry's going to have to carry again next season. That's what it's looking like. And, this era was really tough for the rest of the league. It was so tough for the rest of the league. Just seeing what the Warriors did with Curry, Klay, and Draymond together, there will never be another Golden State Warriors. There will never be another Curry, another Klay. And, those 2, what they did together along with Draymond. To be honest, Draymond's not an easy player. I can imagine he's not an easy player to play with. But what Curry and Klay did, they made Draymond a better player. That's what they did. And I'll even give credit to Draymond to say he made Curry and Klay better players. That trio that they had, they were a trio of guys who made each other better. And that's the thing that you have to really, really hone in on when it comes to this full legacy of the Warriors, the full legacy of Klay Thompson with the Warriors. He was a player that made players around him better. That's what you got to remember Klay for in Golden State. There's been an announcement that the Warriors have already came out and said they will retire number 11. Congratulations to Klay Thompson on his legacy with the Warriors. Congratulations to Klay Thompson on his new beginnings, his new journey with the Dallas Mavericks. I can't wait to see what he's going to do. This is the Fourth and Goal Sports Show. I'm your host, Tyrus Filson. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, as well as follow to the Fourth and Goal Sports Instagram page. And please be sure to comment, what are your thoughts on Klay Thompson signing with the Dallas Mavericks? What are your thoughts on Klay Thompson leaving Golden State? This is the end of an era, folks. What are your thoughts? I want to hear it in the comments. Have a blessed day. Peace.